What's going on, everyone? This is Kevin here, coming at you with my hands-on and first impressions of the Moto G Fast. This is one of the latest devices in the growing Motorola Moto G series, so let's get started. So this is the Moto G Fast. This phone was just launched in June of 2020 and is being offered right now for $199 factory unlocked. One of the coolest things about this phone too is that it does work for all 4 major US carriers. Now I know Sprint and T-Mobile are merging, but it works with Sprint, it works with Verizon, it works with T-Mobile, and it works with AT&T and the various carriers under those carriers. Now it is possible that in the future the price will go down, as that commonly happens for various smartphones. So definitely take a look at the link in the video description to see the most up-to-date pricing. Now here is the box that the phone does come in. The box looks very similar to the other Moto G phones, such as the G Stylus and G Power. Now I did already set things up for the sake of saving time here, so let's open up the box and see what all we get inside. Now the first item, of course, is the G Fast itself. I did get the phone in white. We're gonna put this off to the side for a second here. And getting deeper into the box, we have some literature, so a safety and regulatory guide. We also have a Moto G Fast README. I don't really look at any of those. We also get a SIM card removal tool in the box. We have a 10-watt wall adapter, so pretty decent. And we have a USB-C cable for charging and data transfer. So yes, the Moto G Fast is a USB-C device, which is fantastic. And here is the actual Moto G Fast itself. Now stay tuned for future videos as I compare this phone to the other various devices in the Moto G series. I also have the Moto G Power and the Moto G Stylus. I'm sure you're already aware of that if you've been watching my content, but definitely make sure to hit that sub button so that you don't miss out on those videos. Now the Moto G Fast features a 6.4-inch display. The display itself is IPS LCD. The display is 720p, so not 1080p unfortunately, but despite it being 720p, I think it looks very decent. It looks nice and sharp and crisp and clear. We're getting a PPI here of 268. We're getting a 19.5 by 9 aspect ratio, and we're getting an 82% screen to body ratio. So you can see up top here, we do have a hole punch for the front-facing camera. And then down towards the bottom of the phone, we do have a little bit of a thicker bottom bezel. But overall, I think it's a pretty decent design. I think it's an attractive looking phone, especially considering the price. But let me get further into the specifications here because things get even better. So the front-facing camera is 8 megapixels. The phone features 32 gigabytes of internal storage with SD card expansion. So 32 gigs is not a ton in 2020, but considering the price of the phone and the fact that we do get micro SD card expansion, I think it is adequate. Now there's no wireless charging with the phone, as you'd imagine, but we do have a fingerprint sensor on the back. So nice and quick and responsive. Let's do that one more time. That's a very fast fingerprint sensor, maybe hence the name Moto G Fast. Now there is no face unlock with the Moto G Fast, and this is the same exact way for the other various 2020 Moto G phones. Now some people mentioned in previous videos that Smart Lock is what they call face unlock, and no, Smart Lock is completely different. So let me show you that right now. So I don't use Smart Lock personally, but essentially with Smart Lock, it uses on-body detection, trusted places, and trusted devices to determine whether or not it should unlock. That is not face unlock. So there is no face unlock with this phone. So just remember that, and if that is an important feature to you, then maybe you should look into getting something else. But there is no face unlock with this device, that is 100% confirmed. Now on the back of the phone, we have a triple camera setup. So we have a 16 megapixel main camera, an 8 megapixel ultra wide angle camera, and a 2 megapixel macro camera. So very cool to see that we are getting an ultra wide angle camera with the phone in this price range. Now let's do a demonstration of that with this YouTube plant, as some people tend to call it, because every content creator seems to have this same exact plant from IKEA. But here's how things look through the standard lens. We'll switch now to the ultra wide angle lens, and you can see that you can fit a lot more content here into the frame. Now the ultra wide angle lens gives you the ability to take both photos and videos in an ultra wide format. And what's interesting is that the Moto G stylus, for example, does not support ultra wide angle photos, but this phone does. So that's a really cool thing to see there. Certainly very happy about that. If you do want to access the macro camera, you can go over to these other photo modes and you'll see it right there. Now there's also portrait mode with both the front and rear camera with the device. So that's really awesome. Good to see we're getting that here with a phone in this price range. So overall, I'm very impressed so far with the Moto G Fast. In fact, this might be one of my favorite budget phones so far at the $199 price range. But let's continue on. Now this device features 3 GB of RAM and we're getting the Qualcomm Snapdragon 665 processor. So it would have been nice if we had 4 gigs of RAM compared to 3, but the best thing here is that we are getting the Snapdragon 665. That's a very powerful processor. Of course, not as good as a flagship processor like you'd find with the Qualcomm Snapdragon 865, but this is a dramatically less expensive device. So I feel like we're really getting a lot of power here for a phone in this price range. That's probably the signature feature with this phone. So I'm really happy to see though that we are getting the Qualcomm Snapdragon 665. Now with that processor, we do have the ability to take 4K video with the rear camera. Now the front camera is 1080p, but it is cool that we are getting 4K with the rear. Now the phone features a beefy 4000 mAh internal battery, and like I mentioned a second ago, you can charge it at 10 watts. Now the software on here is Android 10, and it is a pretty standard stock variant of Android. Now there's a variety of different Motorola goodies implemented into the software on here, and I will cover all of that in full detail in both my review and my tips and tricks video. So stay tuned for that content. But in general, I'm a big fan of the software that Motorola puts on their phones. I did install a variety of my own applications that I will be using as I test out the phone, but overall, it's a very stock experience here. So nice, clean, no bloatware. So that's fantastic. Now, if this phone does make its way over to some carriers, you might get bloatware from them, but that's because of the carrier. But if you buy the phone factory unlocked, like I did, then you're going to be getting a nice, good, clean, stock experience with the phone. Now, there is no NFC with the Moto G Fast, unfortunately. It is a bit disappointing that many of these budget phones are not giving us NFC, especially when mobile payments are more popular now than ever before. Now, let's take a closer look at the hardware here. So one of the interesting design characteristics of this phone is that we're getting kind of a chrome band running around the sides. Now this band is made out of plastic, so it's an all plastic build minus the display of course. But on the left side of the phone, we have the slot for the micro SD card and SIM card. On the right, we have the power button and volume button. On the top, we have the 3.5mm headphone jack and the noise canceling microphone. And then on the bottom, we have the microphone, USB-C port for charging and data transfer, and the speaker. Then, on the back of the phone, we have the camera module and the fingerprint sensor. But I think the phone looks really good. I'm a big fan of the whole design and everything. It's a super clean and practical design. And I think in general, Motorola is really packing in a very impressive high-performance processor here, while also giving us a very affordable price tag. So there's definitely a lot to like here about the Moto G Fast. Now, if you're somebody that likes to use Instagram, then I think you're definitely going to be a big fan of this phone. Instagram performance is nice and smooth here. You can see scrolling is buttery smooth. You can easily swipe over. You can record stories, of course, so pretty good quality here with the front-facing camera, which is fantastic. A good quality microphone on here as well. So really, I am very impressed so far with the Moto G Fast. I would say that the things that stand out the most are the cameras, the processor, and the overall form factor of the phone. Now, of course, could the display be a bit better and be AMOLED, for example, or be 1080p? Yes, that would be an improvement over what we're getting here. But the display certainly gets the job done. It's decently bright. It's good looking. Definitely no complaints at all with it. So in general, I'm very satisfied with the Moto G Fast. But I hope you enjoyed this hands-on and first impressions video about the phone. Definitely take a look at the link in the video description to see the most up-to-date pricing and to learn more about it. But also make sure to hit that sub button and stay tuned for my future content about the phone. But my name is Kevin. This is the Moto G Fast, and I will see you in the next video. I hope you have a great day and take care.